I apologize. Thanks for your patience, everyone. We are live now. Again, we are in the Public Service Committee meeting. Those committee members are Kamer, McKittrick, DeShazier, Bolden, and Lombardo. We have all committee members present except for Councilman Bolden. There was a motion by DeShazier to approve the minutes of the previous meeting, and that motion passed 4-0. I read in item number 3, which is an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts after publicly advertising for bids for the purchase and installation of green infrastructure specialty landscaping and the provision of annual paver maintenance services for Akron Waterways Renewed and declaring an emergency.
All right. Thank you, Sarah. Now we'll continue with Chris, our Public Service Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of committee. This legislation will allow us to bid and award the green infrastructure sites maintenance moving forward. What we did with our second amendment to the consent decree, in lieu of building basins in some of these rack areas, what we called them, specifically off of Kelly Avenue in Arlington and then one off of Merriman Road, is we put in green infrastructure to hold back the stormwater, did a little bit of separation of the sanitary and storm, which were combinations, and converted them back to storm. And by doing this, we were able to eliminate those structures in those neighborhoods. So the sites are the Kelly Green on Bittaker Street, 2 sites on Kelly, Chittenden and Weeks, and then the Merriman site is on Merriman Road. We do have a little bit of a green infrastructure over by Fire Station 2, and it is the Middlebury Green. So we have had a third party manage this for us since we put these into operation, and every time it rains, we must have them inspected, and then if maintenance is to be performed, then it's performed. So this legislation is a 3-year contract. It's a total of $80,000 a year. We'll have 2 different contractors, one to do the mowing and then the weeding and managing the above ground apprentices. And then what we will do with the other is we have a different contractor that will actually clean the underground structures or holding tanks. So the difference of what we did before is we are going to manage and oversight this with our staff from the watershed. They're expanding their duties, and to help with Jessica Glocheski and Emily Collins, they're working towards, in the future, that we will look and possibly take over this maintenance ourselves with our own staff. But for the next 3 years, we're going to manage it with in-house staff, and then the work will be performed by contractors.
All right, thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. All right, committee members, any questions or comments for Mr. Luddle? I don't see anyone. Anyone else online or in council chambers with us? All right, sounds good. Chris, is consent okay, or?
Yes, sir.
Okay, committee?
Motion for consent.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for consent. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, we'll put that on the consent agenda. Moving on to the next piece, Sarah.
Item number 4 is an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts after publicly advertising for bids for the demolition of Goodrich Middle School and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Sarah. Chris Luddle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of committee. Yes, this project was in the capital budget, and we've recently bid this project. So this legislation will allow us to move forward with the demolition of Goodrich Middle School, which was originally constructed in 1930, and then there was an addition put on in 54, and then another one in 1964. So this will be a complete removal. It will take care of all environmental items that are in that. It will remove all the asphalt, all the concrete around, all the sidewalks, and then what we will do is we will preserve the one section which there's an urban farm on it currently, which is Godrich Farming. This will not impact that site at all. That's the way we bid it. We will leave a little bit of the northeast corner for accessibility for people coming to use that farm. So We're looking forward. This has been a blighted property in this neighborhood for years, and we're looking to get it cleaned up.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it. This is something hopefully the committee will consider suspension of the rules, but any questions or comments for committee members? I don't see any committee members, but I do see Councilman Hanna. Of course, this is a big win for him.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. This ordinance is a long time coming. I want to thank the city of Akron for moving forward with this demolition. Also, the neighbors, I know they're going to be exceedingly glad to hear the news that this demolition will be taking place this year. Also, I would like to be a co-signer on this ordinance also. Thank you so much, City of Akron. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Councilman. We'll add you as a co-sponsor. If there's no other questions or comments, I'm going to take this time. This opportunity to ask the question. Obviously, I'm dealing with a vacant building right now in my ward, and it's Firestone Park Elementary. And, you know, a lot of people, they call me about Goodrich, and especially when they drive up and down the highway. And like right now, we have the police and fire, and they're doing training. And I don't know if you have the answer, Chris, but I would like to know from the city's point of view and their approval, like who approves the training in these schools?
I believe fire and police, they reach out to APS directly, and then they get authorization. Firestone Elementary, as you know, right there next to the community center, between the community center and the library on Girard, it is still owned by APS. It's still in their name. They're in the process of cleaning out some of the contents that are in there now. I believe our economic development team has a scheduled site tour with a developer. I don't know exactly if that's this week or next, sir, but I know they have that scheduled with APS to go through there. But APS is probably looking at September before they get it totally cleaned out of all the contents, and they can move forward with moving that building.
No, thank you. I appreciate it. You didn't have to go into that much detail, but I appreciate it. But yeah, Goodrich, I mean, congratulations, Johnny Hanna, because and the former council member, because that thing it's a horrible site. So I'm so glad that we're moving forward with it. Thanks for that brief explanation about Firestone Park Elementary. Obviously, my dog even had to weigh in too. I'm sure you folks heard him barking. So with that, committee, is there a recommendation for suspension of the rules?
Sure, I'll make that recommendation to suspend the rules with a favorable report.
Second.
All in favor of suspension of the rules, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, thank you. Moving on to our final piece, please.
Item number 5 is an ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts after publicly advertising for bids for the construction of kitchen and day room renovations at Fire Station number 13 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. Mr. Luddle?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of committee. This legislation will allow us to move forward with awarding the contract for the modernization of the kitchen and day room of Fire Station 13, which is at the corner of Brown and Wilbeth in Firestone Park. This fire station was originally constructed in 1953. The kitchen and day room renovations, they will include a new exhaust hood, stainless steel countertops, new cabinetry, new suspended ceiling, upgrade to LED lights, new LVT flooring, painting and appliances. It's about 1,100 square feet of renovation. It's kind of well overdue at this fire station. I have a couple of our firefighters behind us if you have anything specific questions on this fire station, but engineering is ready to award this contract. And we did get a price favorable, so we are able to include a couple of the items that we put in as addendums that we will be included in the budget.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that. Committee members, any questions or comments for Mr. Luddle or the fire representatives behind him? Anybody online with us? All right. I do see one of the gentlemen behind you. He plays softball Saturday. So I appreciate him coming out and playing softball. All right, committee. What's your recommendation, guys? Suspension of the rules?
Are you asking me, sir?
That's what I was going to ask
Oh, all right.
Mr.
I'll ask
Luddle.
Mr. Luddle.
What would be your
Mr.
pleasure?
Luddle.
Suspension of the rules? Yeah, I'd make that motion to suspend the rules with a
Second.
favorable report.
Second.
All right. All in favor of suspension of the rules?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? All right. Well, thank you. That is all we have. We are adjourned.
Our next committee today will be the Health and Social Services Committee, and it will begin at 2:30. Those committee members are Amobian, Davis, DeShazier, Boys, and Garrett. Again, that's the Health and Social Services Committee, and it will begin at 2:30. Thank you. It's 2:30, and our final committee meeting of the day is the Health and Social Services Committee. Those committee members are Amobian, Davis, DeShazier, Boys, and Garrett. We have all committee members present except for Councilman Garrett. Whenever you're ready, Madam Chair.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Good. All committee members are present except Councilman Garrett. May I have a motion to pass minutes that we had meeting long time ago?
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We have one piece before us. It is ordinance authorizing the mayor or his designee to enter into a contract or contracts with various contractors, including your construction company, Ace It Construction Company, Release Casa LLC, and Rick Dale Construction LLC for the provision of services necessary to facilitate the Lead Safe Akron program and declaring an emergency. And I believe we have Mr. Lash and some of his staff.
Thank you, Chairwoman Omobian. This is actually our first installment of the lead program. As you heard several months ago, we were awarded a $7.5 million grant from HUD, and this is our first installment into that particular grant. And these are the 4 contractors that we're going to move forward with. I brought Mr. Doug Taylor from our Housing and Community Services Division to dive a little deeper into whom those contractors are and what they're going to be doing in this program. So if I could turn it over to Doug. Doug, would you mind sharing?
Sure. This would be for the 4 contractors were mentioned. Your Construction, which is a renewal of his contract. He's been a contractor for us for about 15, 20 years. This is a renewal of his existing contract. ASIC Constructions is another contractor who's been for us just about as long. He also is a renewal of his contract. Reals, and I believe it's R-E-A-L-E-S, and I believe that means real casas, which would be houses. This is a new contractor. He's not worked with us before. The work that I reviewed for him was very not up to complete what we're used to, although it did appear to be good work. He just doesn't have the experience. So we opted to do a 1-year contract with him for $600,000. And then we have Rick Dale Construction is a contractor. This is also a new contractor coming in, and I have reviewed his work, and he does fine work. Has been working for the state of Ohio's program, and so we decided to do his contract for a 2-year, $1 million contract. So all 3 of the contracts would be for 2 years, $1 million, and the other one would be for 1 year, $600,000.
Thank you very much. If you look at the URC, it talks about 3 2-year, then it talks about a 1 4-year, and then there's another one for 1 year.
Okay, the 4-year I didn't see on the agenda here. I can also explain that. That's with a company called Pillar to Post. For this grant, we are required to do radon testing, and that requires us to have licensed machinery and so on. We felt that wasn't in our best interest to have our staff do it. So for $117,000, we'll do a 4-year contract with this company called Pillar to Post. They will handle our radon testing.
Okay. Now, yeah, I was counting 4 contractors, then I saw the URC. Thank you very much. I did spend some time and talk with Mr. Lash earlier today, because I know for a number of years now we've talked about wanting to include some minority contractors. And I know Mr. Tatum a long time ago said this requires specialized training. And I just threw out to Mr. Lash the possibility, and I don't know, Mr. Doug, if you could elaborate. Is there a way that we could discuss with Urban League or some other partner that we have who could help us identify some minority contractors who could probably learn the
Sure.
skills?
We currently, the Realist Casas, it will be a Hispanic contractor, the very first one we've had since I've been here. We currently have 2 minority contractors working for us, B&G Construction and Omega Brothers, who are doing good work for the program we've had them through. We've had a number of minority contracts over the years that I've been here, with a number of 8 of them having to leave either because they couldn't do the work or they just upped and decided, no, this isn't what they wanted to do. But I am in conversation with another one, Great House Construction, Tyrone Great House. He's getting his license and everything together, and we'll be bringing him on. We bring contractors on if they're able to do the job. We retain them. If they aren't able to do the job, then they got to go. So I also went through the list of contractors I've recently got rid of. We have 9 other that are non-minority contractors we've also got rid of. So, the idea is we provide the city of Akron residents, citizens, the good quality work that they deserve to get. I mean, they're getting good money put onto their houses. They deserve good quality work. So that's really what we're looking for. I know we have reached out to the Urban League several times before, and we've taken a few of the contractors in for them. Some have worked and some haven't. But we are willing to work with any contractor wants to come in. If they get their license, they get their insurance, they get registered with the federal government, that we'll be more than happy to take a look at their work and put them on.
No, you shared more with me than Mr. Lash. He indicated he was going to bring staff on that had more history. So you shared more. So thank you very much for that. And are there other questions from other committee members? Ms. Boyles? Tina?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question is this. Appreciate that you brought in several new contractors. In the case of Realis Casas, if that's how you pronounce it correctly.
I believe so, yes.
So how you mentioned that they weren't quite up to the same standards as your other contractors. What do you plan to do to bring them up to standard and perhaps coach them along? And do you have a backup plan? Could these other contractors absorb their business if it doesn't work out?
Sure. Well, that's the main reason was putting him on a probation contract for 1 year, $600,000, as opposed to putting him on to the 2-year contract. Although we've put others on 2-year contract and have terminated that contract early. The big thing with him is the work he's done has been fairly small. A siding job here, maybe some window replacements here, not to the extent of porch replacement, roof replacement, siding, windows, doors, the things that we typically will do in this program. So what we'll do is we'll bring him in, we'll put him out on a few of the smaller jobs to get him a taste of what's going through and how we work in the office. And then once we've got him through them, we'll start to give him some bigger ones and see how he can handle those. If he can handle them, it'll be fine. We have staff that are excellent in what they do and what they know. So we will have them, they'll be with him and making sure that everything's done right. And that's about the best we can do, and either he performs or he doesn't.
And if I could just add to that, Councilwoman, as you heard Doug share about the 1-year term, those are usually utilized for probationary aspects where we actually are able to monitor the workmanship for those particular contractors. The 4-year terms are contractors that we are familiar with and we've been able to monitor their work over a period of time. So that's why we have them structured in that manner.
Thank you. Understood. And Madam Chair, if I could just follow up.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So are there circumstances, and these guys may be wonderful, so this isn't me singling them out, but as you mentioned, these are homeowners oftentimes. Well, they are homeowners, they're all homeowners, and they're receiving work to their properties, and of course we want them to have the best work possible. So are there circumstances under which a contractor like this, after being observed on smaller projects and maybe going on to bigger projects, it didn't work out, are we able to terminate them within the year? And is there a way to absorb the rest of that work within the other contractors, or do we just let them continue through the end of the term?
No, we would, if it was something we couldn't fix. Like some of the contractors that I've terminated have strictly not went back and taken care of warranty work. I mean, I've said, you've got something you've got to go back and fix, and they haven't done it. When I have to go out and spend $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 to fix something they didn't do correctly, then they no longer need to work here. So usually they're terminated at that point. I also put out the, I guess you'd say a carrot for them. You pay me the $3,000 it costs me to fix your work, I'll put you back on the list, we'll give you another chance. So those are things that we do to make sure that we get the good quality work and make sure the contractors continue to do the good quality work.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
And if I could just add on to something, Councilwoman, we have a standard with the City of Akron, specifically the Housing and Community Services Division. We, at the conclusion of each of those assignments or particular abatement work at the homes, you know, Doug and his team make sure that they are up to our standard. If they are not up to our standard, then we actually do whatever we need to do to make sure that it does come up to our standard.
And may I add to that too, please? We also have a form, we have the homeowner sign saying that they're satisfied with the completion of work that we've done. So that adds to it also.
Thank you.
Hey, sounds great to me, and thank you so very much for being so thorough. Are there other members with questions?
I have one question, Madam Chairman. I know it's of a certain age of a house and probably a concentration now where the lead abatement programs are being done. What is the concentration now and what areas?
Well, it's citywide. I mean, most of the houses, you know, we have older stock housings. Anything built prior to 1978 has the risk of having lead-based paint in it. We're finding that in the 60s and 50s, are really getting more. The houses that were built in the 20s, almost everyone has lead paint issues, major issues. So, you know, you can go out through the city and just take a look at the older housing stock and kind of get a general feeling for that. I mean, we've done about 1,500 homes in the last few years here, and that's just a drop in the bucket to what needs to be done.
I appreciate it. I knew that it's been a challenge for a long time, but I applaud you in your work.
Thank you.
And we're still very fortunate in this area to have two of these lead removal contracts. I think one is Akron and one is Summit County. So I would imagine Summit County would cover most of the houses outside of Akron, but still, that's unusual to have two of these major grants.
Well, Akron's been fortunate that in the last number of years we've had two grants. This, I think, is the third one for the county and the fifth one for us, and not including the great grant we just got from the state of Ohio, so it would make 6 grants for us that we've had. And prior to that, you know, Akron Health Department had done them back prior to 2000s, back to 96, I believe they started. So we've been fortunate, we've had a lot of grants in Akron to help curb the plight of children being poisoned by lead paint, and that is the goal, to protect children.
And in addition to that, Councilwoman, I think that it actually speaks to the thorough professionalism of our team, the competence of the team that we have here within the city of Akron that has given to the fact that we have had now 5 grants with housing and urban development. So that speaks a lot to the city of Akron.
Good. No, I have no issues. It's just that over the years we've talked about, but I think Mr. Doug has answered all my questions and concerns. Are there other council members online or in the chamber who would like to ask a question or have a comment? I don't see any hands. Do you see anything, Sarah?
I don't see any hands raised here in chambers.
Okay. What is your pleasure, Mr. Lash?
Consent is fine.
Consent? May I have a motion for consent, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you so very much. I don't think we have anything else. We are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That is the final committee meeting of the day. Council will meet in regular session at 6:30. Thank you.